What I've loved about the Pedro Arrupe Summer School is that it really brings people who have been actually very much embedded in their communities for a long time from different contexts in the world. And my favorite part is the discussions where, based on what I've presented, I get to hear feedback from people who have actually, for example, supported displaced people and asylum seekers to access education, to learn languages from all parts of the world. So there's a lot of overlapping kind of shared experiences and questions that arise from how do we compare what I've described, for example, in the Middle East with something that might an experience on the US borders or in Africa, and how do we support people who are from these very different experiences of displacement to access education.
In Panama right now we're serving a group of deportees from the United States. And none of them is from Latin America. They come from countries in Asia and Africa. So it gives us a sense not only of globality, but of how necessary it is to instill on human dignity. You know, we're all created equal. You know, and we are all children of God. So for me, it's important to bring all that together and also to inform and communicate. You know, because there are good news also of things the Jesuits are doing in the world. Yeah.
So for me, the Pedro Arrupe Summer School in Forced Migration has been a great way of experiencing what we call the universal apostolic body of the Society of Jesus, right? This is because, not only because you get to meet so many Jesuits around the world and people who collaborate with us, but also because you get to know the JRS's global perspective, right?
I've always had an interest in refugee work that began when I worked for the UN and later on as a consultant for JRS. So I was very glad to finally come to a program where I get some more educational backing for what I've always been passionate about. So I feel, even though I'm not doing any direct refugee work at this particular point in time, coming from Kenya and coming from Eastern Africa, where we host some of the largest number of refugees in Africa, it's never far away from you.
Well, I have been working with refugees, and I do not have any academic background. So the main purpose of my coming to Oxford is that I want to get some academic exposure, so that which helps me to help the beneficiaries rather better. Yeah.
The summer school in forced migration had enabled many JRS people to come here to Campion Hall, because they would live here and study, looking at how we work pastorally, how we are with the refugees, the knowledge we bring from the field to the study. So it's not just purely academic, but we bring it with a sense of knowing some of the populations and having ourselves been transformed by that experience of working in some very harsh settings. So here at Campion Hall, just today, one of the participants was saying it's a unique opportunity to be in a place where one can pause and do some reflection out of a very busy life.
I find it to be a very good initiative, really, especially for Jesuits in formation, because we need to kind of spark interest in the work of JRS, but also we'll remember that the universal apostolic priority of the Society of Jesus, number 3, working with the marginalized. It is a way of helping people to understand. This is one good example of priority number 3 in action.